Hey everyone, Paper Cut here, back with another replay review. This time we have Bigglestein, Mr. Biggle, who on my coaching Discord asked for a replay review of this game where he plays Malian versus English, and he felt like he just got beat pretty. He got beat. He played well. He felt like he played well, and he just wants to see what he did wrong. So we're gonna hop in and give him some advice. As a reminder, if you're interested in your own replay review or a coaching session, feel free to reach out to me at Discord, which would be located below in the description below this video. So let's go ahead and jump in. So what I've noticed of Malian, I've played Malians a fair amount, and English, if he goes 2TC, English is actually great for you because it gives you time to really rush the cow boom, and then you're running in with units as he's trying to age up, and you can often do enough damage that they have to bow out at that point. If he all-ins you, you have to be really good about just amassing as many javelin throws as possible, and then adding in counters as he adds them. So if he wants to go men at arms, you need to add Musafatis. If he has to go spearmen, you can just maintain javelin throwers. If you get enough resources, you can even start adding sofas, and sofas are very good against everything he runs. Manticore, heavy on wood. I would, in your shoes, be very invested, I guess what I would say, to getting to his base right now, because you desperately need what he's opening up with. That's going to heavily affect what you do. 2, I would not age it with 6, I would age it with 4, because you want those other 2 gathering resources. In my opinion, it's more important to get the resource gathering rather than rushing up the age up. Moving forward, and he is 2TC English, so in this case you want to focus on just doing as much of your cow boom as quickly as possible. One option you do have is you could drop an archery range and make like 2 or 3 javelin throwers, and if he places his TC really badly, your javelin throwers can be poking his villagers while he's trying to gather gold, much like longbows do. So that's something I do sometimes if I want to try to really delay my opponent, or you can like tower the opposite side of his gold. But in this case, you should feel free to really rush up the cow boom. You get 2 Donzos out, and then you're rushing this cow boom. The problem is Gorge has an awful setup for the cow boom. If you want to rush it, like if it's a delayed cow boom, you can do it back here as the trees go away. But since you want to rush this, him going 2TC, you definitely want to put the barracks right here instead and have the cow boom going this way, and just really commit to getting it up ASAP. This king. If I was your scout, I would have just tailed the king. I mean, this is a great example of a really weak second TC drop. Like if you put a tower here, that cancels out all of what he's doing. So if you make a few Donzos, like 3 or 4 Donzos, and kill his king, you can quickly rush over and drop a tower and completely delay his castle. Or you could make Donzos and do the javelin throwers or do the same. At this point with your scout, you do want to scout everything around here, like what's over here, and the reason being is once you hit castle and you start rushing units, it's really key that you know where everything is to the side so that you can check it. Sometimes when people are trying to defend against the all-in, they will hide units on resources outside their main base. You want to know what those are so you can check them later. I just don't like the selection of this cow boom here. You're not having a space. You want to rush it. You really want to just go for it. You have like 4 Donzos is good enough to defend against the king. Now you're literally doing everything possible. Just rush down cattle ranches and start making cows. Like I would have done 2 mills, and then you're just putting down ranches and adding cows as fast as possible. And then what your scout should be doing is checking, does he drop production and like be aggressive, or is he rushing castle? That many on gold suggests rushing castle. It's like you're already neutering your cow boom because you're going to run out of space for it. Nice. Not dropping production, but I would say you want to check, is he dropping production? He's not. He's walling. I'll lose the scout. You also want to scout everything so you know where the relics are, because it's really key that you're getting relics as you're doing your initial push. Okay, really efficient cows. At this point, once you have a lot of your cows out, in this case like 17 of them, you really want to one, I would delete this lumber camp and put it here, because this is where you're going to want to put the age up, but you want to get rid of these trees, so I put the lumber camp here. Two, I would have pulled half your units off wood and start getting on food, because you want to get this age up as soon as possible. Or pull them off wood onto gold. Like, at this point, you really, really want this age up ASAP. Second, since you know where the king is, you should have ran a villager up to make the pit mine up here, or try to get the pit mine over here with Donzo support. You really want the second pit mine up at this point. Alright, so the first big issue is that when you're doing pure sofas, you want to do like 3 stables and 3 barracks. And you want to go heavy into Musafatis and sofas. And the reason being is, let's say he makes archers. Let's say he makes spearmen. Your Musafatis can fight the spearmen while your sofas are running around the map. And Musafatis are fast, so they can run with the sofas a little bit. The reason you want to go archers yet is because, in general, you have to micro those more, and with Musafatis and sofas, you can just send them everywhere, and the goal isn't really to just do perfect micro. The goal is to be all over the map and just ruin his eco. And so I would just suggest doing barrack, and also the resources match. So Musafati are both food and gold, sofas are both food and gold. So massing them is a lot easier on your economy, and then what happens if the game slows down, then you could drop archers. But really what I do against English on 2TC is, since I know he's going to put white tower, I do like 2 waves of a lot of units, and then I'm dropping siege workshops in the middle of the map, and then I'm kind of working him down while keeping him in his base is kind of the goal. But you really want to get, so I think the most important thing to get at this point is air defense, and this is why not having the second gold, the second pit mine up, is really important. Like, you desperately need that second pit mine up. And then you want to get the third one up the second you age up, because you need so much gold. Like, the cows are going to give you a lot of food as you hit the age up, but you need so much gold for upgrades, for units, or things like that. And so you really want to get that passive income pushing. And then you also want to immediately start getting relics. Once again, for more passive income. Like, you want so much passive food and gold that you can just mass units like crazy. And since you know you're going to be running to his base, you want to get iron undermesh and then immediately get wedge rivets when you hit the age up, so your units can last longer under TC. And white tower. So he hit castle before you just a bit, and here's the thing, you don't want to be worried about that, because you know he rushed that up with no units, and his eco's still going to be slower than yours. Like, your eco's going to pop the second you hit castle with your cows. You want to be ready to just go all in. Don't play scared. Yeah, don't get arrow, you really want arrow defense. Okay, now we need mass units like crazy. But see, that's why 17 on wood's too much. You only need half of that on wood, and I would have put that actually, you want like 8 to 10 on food, because cows are nice, but you still need some food. And second, I would have put more on gold. I'm not joking how much gold you are. And the lack of more pit mines is really, really hurting you here. I'm glad you got the moss down. But we already need that first wave built and heading in. That's the thing, as you're aging up, you could have been making sofas as you're aging up, so that the second you aged up, you could have upgraded them and sent them in. Once again, this is where the Musafatis play a huge deal. If he wants to go meta arms, your Musafatis slaughter them, and your Musafatis destroy spears as well. Okay, he's not outside his base yet, but the most difficult part of the Malian push here is the swarm. Like, you want to, don't be scared, just throw units into his base. Like, I would have like 4 sofas come down here, I would have 4 sofas over here, and then I have my main group of Musafatis and sofas pushing down the middle, and then you have a group of sofas running the back here on each side. And your goal is you're just hunting villagers, you're just killing villagers, and the more his villagers are hiding in his TCs and his white tower, the less eco he's getting, so he can't even make units to match you. Like, you have this timing window where you need to do damage and basically shut down his economy with your units and just the constant waves of units. And if you let him get set up and he starts making his own units and his eco gets set, you're going to fall behind, because 2TC is better than Cow Boom over time, but you have this timing window just when you hit castle to really do damage. Go, 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 go. And this is what I mean, this is way too long. You're letting him sit here and get his eco set up. Look how many units he has. Like this over here. But your Sofas should have been running to the middle of his farms, and then you just A-move in the middle and just letting them attack his farmers. And then you're taking a small group and running into his wood line. And I don't care about the white tower. Like, you need to shut his eco down. Instead, you're standing here and waiting. Like, this is not how the Malians are played. The Malians are played by doing an instant swarm and just all in his eco. You also have the monk with the group. The monk needs to be grabbing relics. But see how that waiting time bought him time? Because he had no units for a minute, and then he made enough spears to stop you from running in, and he's getting these walls up. Which you should have just immediately run to the end and see, has he finished the walls yet? Because you caught him making the walls. But, like, you're just waiting too long. Like, the biggest issue is just the waiting time. And you don't want to fight English long. Like, English is better than you if the game goes long. Just run past him. But see, the reason it didn't work is that you had to burn the wall down, and you're just taking shots while you're doing it, and you're just you're not going for it. Like, you're just not going for it. And that's once again where Musafadis play a huge deal, because your Musafadis can run in first, and while your Musafadis are engaging, your Sofas run past them onto his eco, and then he just is getting no eco. Like, he just has to hide, and you just keep sending these waves and wave after wave after wave. And a key part of this is continuous production. Like, you really need to be on top of adding more production, and like here, this is good, but then keep making it. Like, we need to keep having the production being made and going forward. It's about hotkeys and just keep making units. But at this point, you're already losing momentum. At this point, you're at 53 villagers. He's at 83, and this is when his 2TC is becoming better than your Catboom. And it's just because you took way too long. And once again, once he makes the men at arms, the archers just are awful. Like, yes, you can get poison arrows, which is great, but like, it's just better than Musafadis. That means he can't make men at arms. They're just not viable. But if he makes enough men at arms, even your poison arrow archers will struggle. Look at this. And other people, other civs, the archers do okay against men at arms. But it's more of, you want to do Musafadi to then force him. We need more than one relic at this point. To force him to keep doing spears for Sofas, and then you do a mass archer switch at some point. But without Musafadis, or you add in archers with the Musafadis. So without Musafadis, his men at arms get a lot of free reign here. Yeah, and honestly, at this point, the game's kind of over. And the reason the game's kind of over is your eco will never match his now at this point. You basically need to go 2 to even 3 TC to catch back up. And you're just way too far behind. At this point, the Sofas need to be raiding. It's like, the power of the Sofas is how fast they are. Like, he should never have got this wall up, because you should have had a group that immediately went north and we're cutting off resources up here. You should have a group that gone south and we're running in. And now instead he got the walls up. He's getting the walls up over here. Like, the Sofas are great because as the Musafadis, and if you want archers, are engaged in the front, they're just in the back killing villagers. Instead, you made this a very one group on one group fight, which he's gonna win. English is just better at that. And I mean, like, not to be a doomer, but at this point the game's over. You have one relic. You're way behind on eco. You don't even have your third pit mine up yet. But you really wanted to get the third pit mine up. And now life's gonna be a lot harder for you. Like, look at the eco's amounts at this point. He's almost doubling on food, and he's almost matching you on gold. And that's because he has so many villagers. Like, yes, he has 62, but he has 105. And he's about to go he's about to go imp. He has 82 military. And you have 53, and he's going imp. Like, as Malians, you should always have more units than your opponent. That's part of the thing. You let him build up and get his eco set before you really attacked. And that's both the timing of your castle, but it's also just, you needed to go in with reckless abandon the second you aged up. And now it's his Berkshire's down on his farms. And yeah, it's basically over. Like, we could watch for 16 more minutes, and you're gonna put up a good fight, I assume. But his Imperial is just way better than your Imperial. Like, once again, the Musafadis and archers engage, your Sofas run back, around, and then back onto the range units. Or your Sofas just disengage and dive into his eco. Like, the Sofas are the main diving unit in this comp. You're holding, you're doing alright, but he hasn't got his imp upgrades yet, and he's going to get them soon. And keep in mind, this is him beating you after he already spent all his resources on imp. That's how better his income is than you right now. Look at his current resources. Yeah. So the thing about 2TC is actually one of the best ways to play against the Malian cow boom if you're able to live. If you lose, I mean, the danger is the first like 6 minutes after the castle because you have to survive that. If you can survive that, then your eco's gonna be much better because you just have more vills. Cows can only go so far in their effectiveness. But yeah, we're gonna call it there because at this point it's probably just gonna be a slow but sad defeat. 70-36, 126-68. Yep. His imp upgrades are coming in right now. It's tough. Anyway, hope that was helpful to you. The biggest thing to hold is identifying when you can rush your cow boom or not. 2, picking a setup that allows you to do your cow boom as fast as possible. So in that case, going sideways base, and then getting up, your passive eco a lot faster, like your second pit mine. Third, as you enter castle, you really want to focus on pure gold and food. You want to do Musafatis and sofas to make a really easy eco setup. That means you can just have like 8 to 10 on wood, and you're just consistently adding more production, and you're just doing waves. You want to send your units in. It doesn't matter if you're not taking great fights. What matters is you're disrupting his eco and not letting him get set, so that so your eco stays better than his. And you're just killing villagers, keeping off resources, and eventually dropping a siege workshop and doing the actual push with either rams or trebuchets. Overall, I hope that was helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck on your games.